Hey y'all, it's Michael. This is my top 45 books of 2015. These are numbers 20 through 11. Let's go. Number 20 is We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shiver. Guys, love this. This is about Eva. We follow her through as she's writing letters. We get to find out what happened with Kevin, because Kevin did something really bad. We get to see a character, Eva, who doesn't want to be a mom. Like, she has suspicions about her son and she has doubts about being a mother, and the writing is fantastic. The revelation. The ending to this broke my heart. I was not ready. I haven't watched the movie or anything, and so I went into this blind, and when I got to the end, that's what you call the feels, because I felt it. I really felt it. Number 19 is Welcome to Braggsville by T. Geronimo Johnson. This book is about De'Aaron, who grows up in the South in Braggsville, Georgia. He gets accepted into UC Berkeley. He meets 3 friends there, and the week before spring break, he's about to head home back to Braggsville and come to find out that they actually have a Civil War reenactment that occurs in the town. His classmates finds out, and so they tag along with him to Braggsville, and they want to do a protest because they feel that this Civil War reenactment is just not cool. Guys, this book was fantastic. It was kind of off-putting at first for me, but then after I got into the groove of things, I really was like, okay, I got the flow of it, and I really enjoyed the writing style. It was really different. This book talks about race and racism. The thing that they decide to do, I was like, who in their right mind would think this is okay? But anyways, go read it. I really enjoyed it. Number 18, Delicious Foods by James Hanahan. This was really weird because I went into this book completely blind, and so I didn't really know anything about it. I literally saw the word foods. Now, it has food in it, but it wasn't what I was expecting. This book is actually based on a true account in Florida about modern slavery, how that's still happening today, because we get 3 points of views in this book. One is Eddie, and then his mom Darlene, and how Darlene basically gets tricked into being a slave on this farm, and how Eddie is trying to find her. But we get a third narrator in this book, and that's what I was not expecting, because when I was reading it I was like, wait, who is this person? And that's Crack. Like, you know, wait, do you smoke crack or sniff crack? I don't know. I didn't watch Breaking Bad. It's also really violent. There was a part when I was physically like, oh my gosh. The opening chapter really hooks you. Like, I was hook, line, and sinker after the opening scene. I was like, Number 17 is The Book of Night Women by Marlon James, narrated by Robin Miles. I gushed about this in my December wrap-up, and again also in my audiobook section. I love this novel. This novel is about Lilith and how she's born into this sugar plantation in Jamaica. We basically follow her as this group of women called the Book of Night Women who meets at night with a book, who is planning something huge. This is historical fiction because what they actually plan coincides with a major historical event in Jamaica. I really enjoyed Lilith as a character. She is headstrong, she's determined, and she's taking nothing from nobody. She's also wanting to be loved because she is missing this relationship with her mom, and how that essentially affects her because she has a certain relationship with a character. Marlon James' writing is on point. It is visceral. It's in your face. Number 16 is Columbine by Dave Cullen, narrated by Don Leslie. So good. This is the book that got me into audiobooks. I learned a lot. This book is about the infamous shooting at Columbine High School. This book delves into Eric and Dylan, the 2 intruders or the high schoolers. A lot of people have this misconception about them 2, but I had the same perception also. This shattered everything. Like, first off, it wasn't even supposed to be a shooting. It was supposed to be a bomb. Eric and Dylan, because a lot of people would probably think that they were like really lonely and quiet, like they were those people at the lunchroom, like, you know, you can't speak to, but they were popular, like they had a lot of friends. This book reveals how they planned the bombing, but then essentially when that didn't happen, what did they do? This book is scary because it's non-fiction. It happened. This book like put me on edge. This is terrifying, nerve-wracking, on the edge of my seat. I could not stop listening to this. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And number 15, The Darkest Child by Dolores Phillips, narrated by Charisse Booth. This book is about Tangy May, who is one of like 10 kids, I think. I lost count. Of Roselle, who is her mother. Tangy May is the darkest child out of Roselle's kids. This book covers themes of belonging and family and daughter and mother relationship, race. It's so great. The relationship between Roselle and Tangy May is kind of toxic. Roselle is such an awful mother. Tangy May just... I was rooting for her, and Roselle, God, she's an awful person. Go read it. I really enjoyed it. I gushed enough about it. Alright, number 14 is The Good Lord Bird by James McBride. This book really surprised me because I didn't know what it was about, like usual, so I went into it blind. This book is about this guy named, I'm gonna call him Little Onion because that's what he gets referred to a lot, who dresses like a girl because a confrontation breaks out with John Brown, who is a famous abolitionist pre-Civil War. John Brown basically takes Little Onion, I wouldn't say across country, but yeah, across country. This is a historical fiction, and the events that happen leads up to the event at Harper's Ferry, which is one of the factors that start basically the Civil War, in case you don't know. Written really well. I just could not stop reading this, and I really enjoyed it. Number 13 is Lock and Key by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. This is a graphic novel about the Locke family. They have to move into their mansion in New England because of events that happened in the past. What they discover is that in this house they find keys, and these keys do magical things when you open doors. First off, it's really imaginative. Like, the use of the keys are so cool. Like, each one of them is really different and really unique. I binge read this, so great. There is a little lull in the middle portion because they're going through so many keys, but other than that, and it wraps up fantastically. Like, this book constantly kept surprising me. I love the characterizations. The pace is great. Just a really good story. Art style wise, it does take a while to get used to because it wasn't pretty, but it's really gritty the way it's drawn. It seemed like it's like a child's comic book the way it's drawn, but it's so graphic and violent. The antagonist to this is so great. I really enjoyed this. Alright, number 12 is The Orenda by Joseph Boyd and narrated by Ali Han, Graham Rowat, and Eduardo Ballerini. This takes place in colonial Canada? Yeah, I guess you could say that. It has 3 narrators and they interconnect. I wrote this down because I am going to pronounce this correctly, I promise. Bird, who is the warrior of the Huton... Okay, see, I already messed up. And then we have Snow, who is part of the Iroquois nation, and she gets kidnapped by Bird. Then also we have Christophe, is a preacher. He's from France and he's trying to spread the word of the gospel. This book is really violent. The narrative takes surprising turns that I was not expecting. It's really shocking. It has moments that I was like... I did a whole review on this. Go check it out because, yeah, I talk a lot about this, so yeah, go read it. Alright, number 11 is 2666 by Roberto Bolaño, narrated by various authors, which includes John Lee, Armando Garan, G. Belmont Thomas, Scott Brake, and Grover Gardner. This is like a collection of books, and all the books start to interconnect, and all the characters start to interconnect, the plot lines start to interconnect. It takes one central town in Mexico, and it basically accounts of all the females getting murdered within a span of time, and how different people like reporters, journalists, professors, crime investigators, the people getting murdered, the person committing the murder, the people going to jail because of the murder, like all the people. This book encompasses all of that. You start paying close attention to everything. It's great. Again, I did a whole review on it if you want to go watch it. It's a long review, trust me. Those are books 20 through 11. Oh my gosh, I'm getting long-winded because this is long. If you read any of the books down below, let me know what you think, and then I'll see you on the next video, which is I'm super excited, you guys, because it is the top 10 and these are my favorite books. I'm ready. Let's go. Why did I decide to do top 45? Because I'm tired. I'm gonna go. See, I have water right here, but I think I need something stronger, like some coffee.